throughout the rest of the week, we're going to be looking at certain passages, and Blair and I will be talking through them. The Bible is a great book of leadership in a lot of ways. It's a great book of great leadership. There's also lots of bad leadership in it. We'll be looking at less of those, but there are definitely bad examples to learn from in leadership in Scripture as well. But one, and the reality is every single person besides Jesus, we see both sides of it. But the first passage we've been looking at is Exodus 18, which is a story of Moses. And I'm going to read that real quick, and then Blair and I will be talking through it. So Exodus 18, 14 through 24, 13 to 24. And the next day Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood around Moses from morning until evening. When Moses' father-in-law saw all that he was doing for the people, he said, "What is this that you're doing for the people? Why are you sitting by yourself, and all the people stand around you from morning until evening?" Moses said, "Because the people come to me to inquire of God. When they have a dispute, it comes to me, and I decide between a man and his neighbor, and I make known the decrees of God and his laws." His father-in-law replied, What you are doing is not good. You will surely wear out, both you and these people who are with you, for this is too heavy a burden for you, and you are not able to do it by yourself. Now listen to me. I will give you advice, and may God be with you. You be representative for the people to God, and you bring their disputes to God. Warn them of the statutes and the laws, and make known to them the way in which they must walk and the work they must do. But you choose from the people capable men, God-fearing men of truth. They will judge the people under normal circumstances. In every difficult case they will bring to you, but every small case they themselves will judge, so that you may make it easier for yourself, and they will bear the burden with you. Moses listened to his father-in-law, did everything he had said. I love that passage. What are some thoughts as you hear that?
Well, I think that you're not asked to walk alone. Yeah. We're not asked to be the person. And so great leaders love to see other people grow. And so leadership development matters. You can't do this by yourself. Certainly we need the Lord, but the Lord has also entrusted to us people to walk alongside us. And so I love that a line that's like, be impressed with your friends. You should be impressed with your friends. And when you put yourself around people who are doing life well, not perfectly, nobody's perfect, but people who are faithful, to go back to your point, then you're going to surround yourself with people who can spur you on and who you can build into. And in other words, you're not carrying that burden by yourself. So just because you have the title, again, the title isn't everything. Great leaders love to see people grow, and so we see that they actually break off and essentially delegate here. We see that Jesus had 12, and then really he had 3 within the 12. And so you can't lead thousands. You have to lead the leaders. And I think that's what you see here, is that God almost sets off life groups in our example, that we have faithful leaders for your groups, that you lead this group and you lead this group. Now we have Derek leading the leaders. Of course he's leading each of you too, but really he's building and pouring into those leaders so that they can lead you. And that's a sustainable thing, and it actually builds more people into the process, which is great. So it's not a one-man show. It's not, if Derek left, this whole youth group would fall apart. He's so vital and he's so great, but he's setting this up so that it's not just about him, that it's actually about systems that really have been put in place
for a long time. Yeah, two of the things that stood out. One, Moses' father-in-law says, teach the people the statutes and laws. So there's a scenario where Moses isn't needed anymore. I think that's hard for us to not be needed, but a great leader, you will almost lead him or herself out of a job in a sense, right? Like if you equip people so well that you're not needed, that means you did a good job, but we have to be okay with not being needed. And the second thing that stands out to me is he listened to his father-in-law, which it's in-laws aren't always easy to listen to, but not only that, but listening to an elder, someone who's gone before, and that takes humility, and we'll be talking about that later on. But great leadership always starts with humility.
I love that. I think you're right that you guys don't know this yet. Certain people have great relationships with in-laws, certain people don't.
Yeah.
But having that humility to be able to receive counsel, that doesn't mean that you have to abide by it, but the humility to hear it, I think is a great starting point and principle from this.
Absolutely.